Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a chit chat. Let's have a catch up. Let's go over and discuss everything that has been going on in the world right now. Gymshark. Last week we made a video about Gymshark and we put it on the Lord and Lady Tellen channel. I might do the same with this video, or we might try and put it on the fitness channel or whatever. I'm not sure yet where I'm going to upload this. So wherever you're seeing this, subscribe to whatever channel this is playing on. Please, thank you. Gymshark, last week, they had a release of a long-awaited line of products called the Onyx. They've done 4 variants of the Onyx already, and they released the Onyx V5 last week. It went down like a lead balloon. It was awful. The bots came and they raided the website, and Gymshark, to their credit, owned up to this. They owned up to the fact that bots came and nuked the website, and therefore they said, well, what we're going to do is we're going to go away for a week and we're going to re-protect the website. We're going to instigate and issue some cancelled orders. They got rid of all the bots' orders, which is great. They said F the bots and got rid of all of their orders, and then they got themselves some security on the website. They dealt with the servers a bit better, and they said that they're going to do a re-release. So everyone got excited, everyone waited a week, and then yesterday on the 15th of May, they did a drop again at 7 PM. But a little bit different to the first drop. Unlike how it wasn't even loading new items on that first drop, on the second drop, the new items were all on the website, which is a good first improvement. You were able to start actually picking up some of the items and putting them into your carts. But that is where the trouble began. Once you put an item in your cart, you had to solve one of these weird puzzle things to human verify that you were actually human and not a bot. But clearly something had happened prior to this, because what was happening is when you picked up an item and you placed it in your cart, what was weird about the situation is when the item was in your cart and you solved this puzzle, the item disappeared. So you put the item in the cart to buy it, you prove that you're human by solving this puzzle, and then before you could even press check out or buy, the item disappeared. It said this item is out of stock. So it was like people were putting items in their basket, proving that they were human to purchase the item, but then the item was literally just disappearing. So people thought, well, what the hell's going on? How is an item in my basket, but then it's getting taken out of my basket? That's kind of like the real world equivalent of being in a supermarket and having a piece of bread in there and someone comes over and just takes the bread out of it. Like, how does that really work? That doesn't make sense. And what someone had actually figured out, someone a lot smarter with technology than myself, what someone had figured out, which was quite clever, is that what had happened is on a Discord server, and obviously it's a Discord problem, it's always bloody Discord nerds of some description had been able to get a link out ahead of time that got people early access to the website. So the website was supposed to drop at certain times, but these little Discord nerds had been able to swipe some sort of link to get themselves onto the website like at least an hour early. So obviously by the time the website changed for normal people, everything was already gone. It was showing like it was in stock, and we had these weird events where people were grabbing an item and putting it in a basket, and then it was being deleted, and then they got told that an item was out of stock, but then it was back in stock, and then there's all these technical problems still occurring. And basically it's because Gymshark operates on Spotify or Shopify. So Shopify, it's like a domain where you can sell your items and stuff. And if you're a small company, if you're a little tiny indie company that wants to sell a couple of t-shirts or a couple of hats, it's probably a good place to have your marketplace. But if you are a mega conglomerate juggernaut brand, you definitely should not be Shopifying. That is really, really low effort on your end. That's really, really stupid. You should not be doing your business on Shopify. You should have your own private domain like Gymshark.com on Gymshark's domain. They should have their own website dedicated, because there's so much more security that can be put in place. Look at something that's adjacent like Lego. Lego is a massive brand, a mega brand, and every first of the month they do a new release of hundreds of sets. Hundreds, not one top, not one item, or 13 new items, which I think Gymshark's got at the minute in their Onyx collection. Lego does like 60, 70, 80 brand new items a month, and their website does not crash. They put you in a digital queue, you can favourite your items months in advance, you can put them in your basket months in advance, so on the day of, you just have to get on the website, wait in that digital queue and press purchase. They also have a pre-order system, like video games do, and loads of stuff. Like, we're living in a technological age right now. 2025 is the most advanced technological year on history, and yet we can't get a fucking t-shirt into our basket. Like, what are you doing? If your company can't handle a few 100,000 people going on to a website and purchasing an item, your company deserves to be on its arse. You don't deserve the fans. You don't deserve the quality. You don't deserve the effort that the fans put in. People go to work and they wait and they save and they want one of your items, and they come in at 7 o'clock. Say you're a parent and you've got kids and you work. You've been out and work all day. 7 o'clock, you've made sure the kids have eaten. It's nearly time to get ready to put them to bed, and you've got to sit on your phone and wait for that drop to happen. What should happen in theory is that drop should go live. You should swipe an item, put it in your cart, press purchase, and jobs are good. And go back to living your normal life. But no, you can sit there for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, refreshing websites, seeing pages not load, have items taken from your basket. It's just awful. The motivator, the lead guy of Gymshark, this Ben guy, he talked about how he wanted his brand to be a 100-year-long brand. He wanted his brand to be seen like Cadbury's and Land Rover, who had been around for decades. And the reason those brands have worked for such a long period of time is because they're reliable. It's because if I've worked hard and I've saved up my money and I want to, I can walk into a Land Rover dealership and purchase a nice Land Rover. If I want a nice bar of chocolate at the end of a hard day, I can go and purchase myself a lovely little Cadbury's chocolate bar. Takes me 2 seconds. Takes me 2 seconds to do that. I can walk into any given supermarket on the high street and I can pick myself up a little bar of Cadbury's chocolate. And it's easy as that. But your Gymshark brand, products, ranges, collections, you have some items on there that are so boring nobody's picking them up, so you're flogging them on sale prices. You have items out there for the ladies which are just in stock in high demands, in high volumes. And then you've got stock for the blokes that you do these limited runs, these t-shirts and these vests and these long sleeves. And it's like you've got to sell your nan on the dark web to try and get one. It's ridiculous. The only way to do it, the only way a real Gymshark fan can pick up an Onyx t-shirt for a genuine confirmation that they can definitely 100% walk away with an Onyx t-shirt is if they decide to go and buy it from a reseller. And that is where you've cocked up massively. Because if the only opportunity your customers get to buy a genuine item, a genuine piece of your merchandise, is through a fucking reseller, then you, my friend, have cocked up big time. Because if the only opportunity your fans have genuinely got is to go and purchase from a reseller, then you've genuinely made a massive mistake. How can it be more reliable? Sure, you're going to be paying the premium, but they've either used bots or they've used some sort of fancy technology to get that item in their hand quicker and more efficiently, or cheated the system to do so. You literally have to buy it from a reseller, because if you're genuine, if you genuinely want one of these t-shirts and you need one of these t-shirts, buy it from a reseller. Buy the Onyx from resellers. I'm not a reseller. I haven't got any items to resell. I didn't use any bots or any weird technology to try and get these items early, or whatever the case may be for people. I have not been able to purchase or pick up any of these items. I have been screwed on it just as everyone else has. Honest to God, if you really are desperate to pick up a piece of Onyx merch, please just go and buy it off a reseller. Go to places like Vinted or eBay and pick them up from resellers, and don't even think twice about it. If you are that serious that you really want an Onyx t-shirt, it will probably run you somewhere between £100 and £190 or whatever the case may be, maybe even £200, £300. You have to set your own budget in that case for what you think is a reasonable price to purchase, because in England, at England prices, there are £45 Onyx t-shirts that are now being sold for £110, £120. If you think that's a fair price to pay because you didn't get one and you really want one, pay it. Pay it. If you really think that's a fair price and that's what you genuinely want, pay it. There are Lego sets out there that I would pay £120 for like that. So I can understand it wholeheartedly. If that's your bread and butter and buying gym clothes is your obsession, it's what you love, it's what you save up your money for, go and buy it off a reseller. Do not buy it from Gymshark, because you have got more statistical chance to purchase it successfully through a reseller than you have through Gymshark officially, which is stupid. That's not how a brand would ever work. That is not what... If I want a Rolex watch, I can walk into Rolex with the money and I can buy one. I don't have to go to resellers. I don't have to go and do stupid things on a website. If I want to buy a Rolex watch and I have the funds to do so, I can go into a Rolex shop and I can buy one. If I want to buy a nice All Saints leather jacket, I can go into All Saints, I can drop my money, I can buy the item there and then. The fact that Gymshark didn't do a physical release of the Onyx in every single one of their flagship stores, because they did an early drop in Dubai, they did an early drop in somewhere in Australia, and they did an early drop somewhere in London, which is fucking stupid, because the people who went there weren't real gym, like 1%, 5% maybe, were real honest Gymshark fans. The rest of them, the majority of them, were resellers who went there while people were working and earning money to purchase these items. These resellers went there and they filled their boots up. Whether it was 1 item, 2 items, 3 items is irrelevant. They went there and they stocked up on items that they could resell to the fans. And the irony is, I know people are like, oh, fuck resellers. Resellers are the problem. Resellers are this, resellers are that. Honestly, without resellers, none of you lot would have an Onyx. Without a reseller, none of you would have an Onyx, because it is more statistically likely, more likely chances that you are going to be able to receive, yeah, it's overpriced, I've understood that, it's a massively overpriced, but you have got more opportunity and much more chances of receiving an overpriced Onyx t-shirt from a reseller than you are able to purchase a normal priced one from Gymshark officially. And that is a mad sentence. That is the reason the brand is on its arse. That is the reason why Ben Francis needs to pull his finger out and get some work done. And that's the reason why Gymshark will not last 100 years as a brand whatsoever. They're in the bin. They need some serious help. My name's been Tom. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. I'll see you in a bit. Peace.